Okay. Good evening, folks. It looks like we're at 6 o'clock, just 5 after. Thank you for joining today. My name is Sarah Farris, and I'm the Community Affairs Representative for East Bay Municipal Utilities District. Thank you for attending our community meeting regarding the upcoming construction that EBMUD will be conducting in Alameda and Oakland to update the Oakland Inner Harbor pipeline crossings. Before we begin tonight's meeting, I'd like to go over some housekeeping items. EBMUD is recording this meeting and we will be posting it on the project's website a week from today. After our presentation, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. Please type your questions using the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. They will be answered after the presentation. To get us started, I would like to introduce the President of the Board of Directors for EBMUD, President Doug Linney, who will be giving opening remarks. Over to you, President Linney.
Thank you, Sarah, and good evening, everyone. I am Doug Linney. I represent East Bay MUD Ward 5, which includes this area on the Board of Directors. I'm also an Alameda resident. Thank you for joining this evening about this important project. Getting good community feedback and having an opportunity to educate members of the public about these projects is very important. The Oakland Inner Harbor project will replace an existing transmission pipeline that crosses near Posey Tube that has, as we like to say, reached the end of its useful life. The new pipeline will be installed beneath the Inner Harbor, and the new crossing will be connected to existing transmission mains and improve the hydraulic connectivity between Alameda and Oakland. This project is part of a larger plan to proactively replace aging infrastructure in order to maintain optimal service to our users. Our design project manager, Rafi Mugamian, will present the details of the project and how we have worked with both the City of Alameda and the City of Oakland to best navigate the construction. I'd like to thank you again for attending this evening, especially the residents along the Marina Village Parkway in Alameda and Fallon Street in Oakland, in advance for your patience as we complete this work. Now I'll hand it back to Sarah.
Thank you, President Linney. The teams working on both the design and construction phase of the project are here today, and they're featured as panelists tonight to answer your questions. We have with us design phase project manager Rafi Mugamian, and he will be presenting his slides. Thank you, Rafi.
Well, before I get into today's presentation, I just want to thank everyone again for coming and attending. It's not easy to find an hour free time during the week, so I really appreciate you guys showing the interest and coming to talk about hear about this exciting project. Today's presentation the main focus of it will be the Oakland Inner Harbor pipeline crossing. Presentation, I'm first going to talk about an overview of the East Bay Municipal Utility District water system. I'll then go into the project need, why this project is so critical to East Bay MUD and to its ratepayers as well. I'll talk about the alignment of the Oakland Inner Harbor pipeline crossing, which is where the pipeline is going to be installed, what streets the pipeline will be installed, and where exactly in the Oakland Inner Harbor. I'll then talk about construction methods. There's a few different construction methods this project will utilize. And I'll then talk about traffic impacts. These are some of the more visible impacts to the community that will be seen throughout the construction phase. So here's an overview of East Bay Municipal Utility District. I'm right here. Our offices, headquarters is right here, downtown Oakland. And our service area is shown in light green right here. We serve about 1.4 million customers. We go from south all the way from San Leandro, all the way north to Richmond, east to Walnut Creek, then down Danville, San Ramon area as well. We get our water from Pardee Reservoir. Water is collected at Pardee Reservoir, then it's transmitted through the 3 pipelines that make up the McCulmy Aqueduct system. It travels down the foothills of the Sierra through the California Delta and into our service area, where it's treated and then dispersed through our pipelines, pumping plants, and reservoirs to ensure our customers have a reliable water system and a good level of service. So focusing in a little more closely as the City of Alameda water supply, here we have the City of Alameda shown right here. And you notice there's only 4 existing pipelines that feed Alameda: the Alice Webster crossing, the Northeastern Corridor crossings, and then we have the Bay Farm Island crossing as well too. These four pipelines are the lifeline to the city of Alameda's water supply. There's no reservoirs of any treated water, so if any one of these pipelines fails at one point in time, it can affect the level of service to the city of Alameda. District realized this was an issue and initiated a master plan study to study this and improve the water feed to the city of Alameda. That master plan was titled the Alameda-North Bay Farm Island Master Plan. Again, the purpose of it was to ensure long-term reliability, meet existing and future demands, as well as replace aging infrastructure. And what the master plan came up with was replacing the 4 existing crossings with 3 new pipeline crossings. Crossing number 1 right here, right by the Webster Posey Tube. Crossing number 2 between Alameda and Bay Fair Island. And then crossing number 3, parallel to Park Street. And this master plan was finalized in 2014. And then what the master plan did is prioritize the crossings as well too. And they prioritized crossing number 1, which is the Oakland Inner Harbor pipeline crossing. Then after the master plan was completed, the district completed an environmental impact report, which examines the projects and examines the impacts and and the mitigation measures that the district will take throughout the construction phase. That was finalized in December of 2016. And after that point, design immediately began. Here's a nice figure of the Oakland Inner Harbor pipeline crossing. I'll go over what each line means, but I first want to bring attention to this black line right here. This is the existing crossing pipeline. It was installed in the 1940s with a cast iron pipeline, and this cast iron pipeline is basically just pushed together. There's nothing holding it and restraining it. It was installed within a highly liquefiable soil as well too, and so the fact that it's installed in a highly liquefiable soil and using this cast iron pushing the unrestrained joints, it makes it very susceptible to a failure during a large seismic event. So again, East Bay MUD is going to replace that existing pipe shown in black right here with a new crossing pipeline shown in blue right here. It starts between Fallon Street in Oakland and also Marina Village Parkway. It's 3,000 feet of 32-inch high-density polyethylene pipe, and it will be installed through a proven trenchless technology called horizontal directional drilling. There'll be drilling rigs set up on both sides of that to install it, and the drilling rig will drill a hole large enough for a pipeline, and then that pipeline will be constructed above ground and tested above ground. That pipeline laydown area is shown in green right here along Marina Village Parkway. And then once the hole is large enough, it will be pulled through that hole. And that's the horizontal directional drilling. The current proposed schedule is November, this November 2022. We plan to begin construction and drilling, and then we estimate it'll end around April 2023. We don't want to build, we want to connect this existing crossing pipeline to our existing distribution network. So we have the pipelines that will take that crossing pipeline and connect it, shown in red right here. We have 2 miles of 24-inch pipeline be installed here in downtown Oakland, as well as in Alameda right here. This area is a business park along Marina Village Parkway, Challenger, and Atlantic, and then it transitions to a residential area past Buena Vista. The proposed schedule for this is beginning again in November of 2022, and then completing it around 2023. Now, my next slides, I'm going to focus on the HDD part and what that construction method is and kind of where we'll be staging these drilling equipments. This slide shows an overview and the various steps in the HDD process, horizontal directional drilling. The drilling rig is set up. You can see step 1 right here. It's set up on the surface, and it drills a pilot hole. This is a much smaller hole, and it drills it along the alignment. And you can see it travels underneath the water body right here, and we don't need to go in and excavate in the water at all. We drill right underneath it. Step 2 is the reaming process. This process enlarges the hole. So larger drill bits are attached, and it enlarges the hole and making it big enough so we can actually pull the new pipeline through. Step number 3 is the swabbing process right here. This swabbing process ensures the hole has integrity and also ensures that there's no blockages as well. Once that process is completed, we move to step 4, which is the pipeline pullback, where we do pull the pipe through the hole that we've created. The pipeline again will be staged in Marina Village Parkway. all of it, and then it will be pulled through. This step 4, it's crucial that this be done in a continuous process as well. Once you start pulling, you cannot stop pulling. So this is a continuous process. Step number 4. Again, we'll be this process requires some drill rigs to be set up, and we're going to be setting up a drill rig both in Oakland and Alameda. But this is kind of what the drill rigs look like that will be set up in Oakland and Alameda. Here on the left is a picture of a more rural setting. We have some trees here, but this is the type of drill rig that we'll be using. And here are drill rods that advance the drill bit. On the right-hand side, we have a more urban setting as well, but with similar equipment where we have the drill rig station right here. We have drill rods as well too. Notice there's a sound barrier in this urban area as well. In our setting, in our application as well, we will have sound barriers to reduce the noise impacts to the surrounding communities. This also has its own power supply, and you can see the hole right here. This is where the drill rods are inserted and where the pilot hole is drilled. This HDD equipment, again, will be staged in Oakland and Alameda. Here, this figure shows the area that will be, this equipment will be staged on the Oakland side. Again, it's the end of Fallon Street, the very end. This is a non-residential area. We have some businesses to the west of the site, as well as another business. This is a storage facility to the east. The area that will be used as a staging area for the drilling equipment is shown in red right here, again, near the end of Fallon Street. The crossing pipeline alignment is shown in blue. This is where the pipeline will be installed and drilled. And here's our return pit. Again, this area right here is where a lot of the drilling activities will occur. And right here on Victory Court, this is kind of ancillary area that'll be used for laydown and other storage of equipment. Here's the Alameda HDD staging area. This is on the Alameda side. You can see Marina Village Parkway is right here. And this is in a private parking lot at 1201 Marina Village Parkway. Here again, we have the crossing pipeline alignment shown in blue right here. This is a little larger area because we have the laydown, but I first want to focus on this area right here in red, close to the edge. You can see again, we're in the private parking lot. There's some trees barricading us as well. And this is where a lot of the drilling activities will occur. Again, there'll be a sound barrier as well, sound wall to dampen and reduce the noises of the drilling rig. We're also using this parking lot to begin where we're going to construct the crossing pipeline that will be pulled through the borehole. That crossing pipeline laydown area is shown right here in red as well too. And the crossing pipeline is shown in green right here. This is where the crossing pipeline will begin construction. We'll start in this, and then we'll work our way north. In my next slide, I'm going to show the crossing pipeline laydown area where we're going to be staging this crossing pipeline, the 3,000 feet of it. Again, we'll be starting at 1201 Marina Village Parkway, and then the contractor will construct it all along Marina Village Parkway. We'll be temporarily blocking some intersections, Mariner Square Drive, Mariner Square Loop, and 5th Street. However, we've worked closely with the City of Alameda to ensure that there are proper detours so everyone can get to where they want to go. And Marina Village Parkway will always stay open as well too. There'll be two-way traffic constantly there. The crossing pipeline will be laid down in the bike lane of Marina Village Parkway. That's shown right here in this bottom slide. You can see with the green pipe, it'll take up about 5 feet, that bike lane. And then there'll be barriers around there to prevent it from getting vandalized as well. We estimate this crossing pipeline construction and testing will take about 4 weeks. And here's kind of a figure showing what the traffic detours will look like and how traffic will move around the crossing pipeline laydown. First, I want to focus on the right-hand side here. We have our pipe staged in the bike lane. It'll take up about 5 feet, you can see right here. And two-way traffic will still be maintained, so traffic can still drive through there. And then sometimes this pipe needs to get fused together and joined together. So we'll have construction equipment building it. At that point in time, we will be blocking off some of the street, but we'll still be maintaining two-way traffic. The other lane, the other direction of traffic will be diverted to the other side, and we'll still maintain two-way traffic as well as 10-foot traveling lanes. This is a bike lane, we understand that, and we'll have share the road signs as well to notify the vehicular traffic as well as the bicycle traffic too. That was the HDD construction methods and kind of the where, again, we're going to be installing it. I'd like to again now focus your attention to the open trench pipeline installations. We have open trench pipeline. Again, this is connecting the new proposed crossing pipeline to our existing transmission system. On the Oakland side, it's going to be installed on Madison, 4th, and then on Fallon Street. And then this is really a urban kind of a dense area where we'll be installed. And then we have the other open trench pipeline on Marina Village Parkway in Alameda, Challenger, Atlantic, and then along Sherman. This upper portion right here is a business park, and then further to the south is where we have more residential areas. Now, open trench is when we have a big excavator digging and laying the pipe in there. And just to warn you, we're not going to be closing this entire 2-mile stretch down all at once. We're going to be going block by block closure. My next few slides go over what that exactly means and how we're going to be constructing it and progressing. We're going to be building it in stages. So the open trench method, this is a slide showing how the construction will occur. Say we're putting the pipeline in Madison between 8th and 7th Street. We set up our traffic control, again, ensuring that there is some traffic flow through there. Then the first thing that steps in, we have saw cutters. These cut the existing pavement. After that pavement is cut, we then have an excavator that comes in and excavates the trench where the pipeline will be laid in. Once the trench is built, we'll lay the pipe down, join the pipe up, it'll be fused or welded together. Then at that point, we'll backfill the material. We'll put material back into the trench so it's not a big hole. We'll put temporary paving over it so vehicular traffic can drive over it. Then that equipment will be demobilized. We'll then move to the next block. So again, we're not closing large sections, miles of streets or impacting miles of streets. It's block by block. And we'll start the process all over. Saw cut the pavement, excavate the trench, lower the pipeline, and then backfill, temporarily restore pavement. Now this was a nice kind of graphical picture showing an idealized version of what open trench construction looks like. Here's some pictures showing the actual open trench construction. These were taken on recent jobs where we do have a same size 24-inch pipe. You could see here we have workers preparing the trench as well as an excavator digging the trench. And here's the pipeline that will be installed just to the right. It's also, we have a lane closure here, but there is still traffic being traveling along as well to the work site. On the right-hand side, here's an area where we're doing a full lane closure. We're closing the entire street, and you can see there's several workers preparing the trench. There's 2 excavators working on the trench as well too and preparing it for the pipe installation. Now, I mentioned in the previous slides about lane closures and lane closure and also closing off a detour routes. So this is an example of the type of traffic control that you'll be seeing when we are working in a lane. So here in this example, we have our excavators that are digging the hole and digging the trench and also laying the pipe down. And so we're taking up this entire lane. We're still going to maintain 2-way traffic. We're just going to divert the traffic to the median or the other lane, maintaining 10-foot lanes on both directions and maintaining 2-way traffic. We'll also be posting share the road signs as well too for our cyclists, and then everyone should be able to get to where they want to go. The cars can travel and travel around the work zone area. Also, in this situation, we're not going to be impacting the pedestrians on the sidewalk. The sidewalks will remain open as well too. We have another situation where there's a road closure. Some of these are more in the area in Oakland, south of 5th Street. So you can see we have a road closure example right here along Madison Street between 5th and 4th Street. We're going to be closing the road so we can complete our construction activity, but we've worked with the city of Oakland on developing traffic control detour plans. And so this example, this blue car wants to get south of 4th Street on Madison. They can just take the detour route that's posted. There will be signs directing traffic to where they want to go. And again, even in this road closure situation, pedestrian traffic still will be able to walk on the sidewalk, as well as if there's emergency vehicles that need to enter and exit, they can go in and exit, enter and exit as well. Typical work hours for all these activities. On the Oakland side, it's 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Although along Madison between 8th and 5th Street, and then on the intersection of Jackson and 5th, those are reduced a little bit. It's 9 to 4 because those are main corridors for the Caltrans 880 on-ramp. So we're avoiding that commute hour, the large commute hour impacts, and cutting it a little bit shorter as well too in the afternoon for the afternoon commute. In Alameda, the hours are 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then the HDD pullback, that's going to be a continuous 48-hour period. I mentioned that once we start pulling the pipe into the hole that was bored, we can't stop the pulling. So that needs to happen over a continuous 48-hour period. And that's going to actually happen on a weekend as well. This will reduce impacts to the residents of the tenants of 1201 Marina Village Parkway, because we'll be taking up a lot of their parking lot, and then it'll also lessen the impacts to Alameda because it's less commute traffic as well. So the next slide, I'm going to go over paving as well too. What's this street going to look like afterwards? So the first step are plates, these metal plates, and you can see they're shown right here in this picture. At the end of the workday, if there is still an opening in the along the open trench portion of the pipeline, plates will be put down over the trench. This will allow vehicular traffic to travel over that trench during the off hours. Once the pipeline is laid down, the backfill is complete, we have temporary asphalt over it. That's when we put the temporary asphalt paving over the trench as well too. And then at the end of the project, what's the end? We'll do our final restorations where we'll do a nice T-cut shown to the right here, smaller section. And then there could be a larger section as well too, depending on what was agreed upon with the city of Oakland and Alameda. Again, we worked on these trenching details with both the city of Oakland and Alameda. Here's the proposed schedule again for the overall project. We're actually starting to pothole right now. This is verifying the existing utilities to ensure that we don't run into any unforeseen utility conflicts. We'll begin HDD installation, the HDD installation shown in blue right here. Mobilization will start in September and lead up all the way through to November. And then the HDD construction portion will begin in November and should end around April. Open trench pipeline in Alameda, that will see the first installation of the open trench pipeline. The current estimate is beginning in December of 2022 and then ending in April of 2023. Oakland is a shorter section, so it's going to be a shorter timeline. We estimate it'll begin in April of 2023 and then end in July of 2023 as well. These pipelines need to be tested and connected to our final system. That should occur between July and August. And then we'll do final paving restoration in September. Again, this is the proposed schedule. If there are any changes, those changes will be reported to our website. So please feel free to look at that and stay up to date, as well as we'll be posting onto Nextdoor and other social media platforms as well. With that, here's some contact information. If you do have any questions after this, please use and call this number, or you have our email address as well. You could look at our EBMUD.com website, and here's our project-specific website as well too. As I mentioned, this project-specific website will be updated on a regular basis with any sort of project updates and scheduling updates as well too. That concludes my presentation, and I'll pass it along to Sarah.
Thank you, Rafi. Thank you for that detailed presentation. So this concludes the information portion of the presentation. We're now going to proceed to our Q&A section. So for those of you who are in attendance today and who would like to ask any questions, if you could please use the function, the button at the bottom of your screen that says Q&A, and you can type your questions in that for me to be able to direct those questions to our panelists here today. So again, if any of you have any questions about the information that's been presented, if you would use the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen so that we can direct your questions to the panel. So we have our first question here today, and the question is, how long will each section be blocked off during open trench construction?
I think I could handle that. So again, the work hours were stipulated. I think it was from 7 to 5 p.m. So it'll be blocked off during that daytime. Again, traffic will either be providing a detour or there could be through traffic as well through there. Usually it takes for open trench portion on a typical street, it takes about 2.5 weeks to complete that installation.
Okay, thank you, Rafi. The second question we have is there still going to be two-way traffic on Marina Village Parkway during the open trench phase?
Yes, there is going to be two-way traffic during the open trench phase as well too. We've worked with the city of Alameda closely to ensure that there's two-way traffic for Marina Village Parkway on there. We've developed traffic control plans.
Thank you. Our next question is from Jen Nettles from Jack London Square. What type of noise mitigation is used in Oakland? How disruptive will noise be?
So for the Oakland part, we'll be putting our HDD equipment in there for, parking it, putting it there on the end of Fallon Street, and that will have a noise barrier that will reduce the noise. It won't completely eliminate the noise, but it will reduce it a significant amount. There will be typical construction noise as well too for the open trench portion where we have trucks coming in, excavators, jackhammers periodically, but a lot of it will be excavators and things like that where you have typical construction noise.
Great, thank you, Rafi. Does anybody have any further questions that they would like to ask the panelists? Okay, I feel like that's all we have. So it looks like there are no more questions. That will conclude tonight's meeting on the Oakland Inner Harbour Pipeline Crossing. The recording of this meeting will be posted within a week to our project's webpage. The webpage can be found at www.ebmud.com/OIH. And like Rafi mentioned, that website will be managed periodically and updating with all the latest information for you all. Thank you for attending our public meeting and have a great rest of your evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Sarah, there's another question in there or a comment. Oh, thank you.
Just to thank you. Thank you for your attendance as well.
All right. Thank you, folks. We survived. Sarah, that is a massive turnout.